So, we are back. This is the end of the air of the pipe to the airbox. Sits up in here. I still cannot believe how ridiculous Honda have made this to change a bulb. I am in total shock here. So that bit of the airbox or air vent or to the airbox sits up here like that. Just pull that off. That just comes off, okay? After you have your inner guard out of the road. Now where do you see this? Where the airbox is moved, chassis leg way up in here. Yeah, as you can see, I have the bulb out, the old bulb out. It has now dropped down and around the back cover of the light somewhere, so I'm now going to have to pull that out. As you can see, here is the spade connection for the live that sits on the back of the bulb. The ground sits up on the frame of the light, so you don't need to touch it, but it is extremely badly in the road for taking the bulb out. So we're halfway there, folks, halfway there. I had popped this side of the bumper off again because I thought I was going to have to take this whole pipe off here to get in, but I didn't need to. So you could do this with a bumper on, but trying to get your hand up in there is an absolute joke. And the second you put your hand up in there, you can't see where your hand is, so you're going by touch. Total joke of a job. This really is a dealership job or a mechanic job, unless you're pretty handy. So yeah, that's where we are now, folks. Time to put the new bulb in, try and put everything back together. Oh yeah, sorry. This is a cap that sits up in the back of the light, up in there, to cover your bulb. As you can see, that's the opening for it, that circle, that plastic circle round where the bulb and all is. That sits this cap in. I think it sits in like that, this bit to the bottom. Quarter of a turn, not even a quarter. And that pops out and falls in somewhere shitty that you have trouble getting your hands in to get it again. Yeah. So that's it. So hopefully this video has been slightly helpful to someone. As I say, I couldn't find any helpful videos on the internet. Most of them were American videos, Canadian, whatever. Very little UK videos or Irish videos. Yeah. Just let me nail this home. This is a shitty job for changing a flipping light bulb. Absolute joke. Your indicator bulb is in here too. Not as hard to get at. Just above that airbox. Yeah. If you're going to do this job, you need to have a bit of patience. You need to kind of be useful at working at cars. I know lots of people change bulbs in their car, think nothing of it, but wouldn't try changing discs or pads or something like that. Wouldn't have the confidence to do that. Pretty much the only part of a car I won't work on is engine work, because I don't know enough about an engine. Airboxes, exhausts, brakes, suspension, stuff like that, I'm happy to do myself. But you will lose half a day probably to this job, and as I say, it's just a nightmare. No room whatsoever. As you can see, the knuckles are cut and bleeding. This hand's pretty sore too. Yeah, if you're going to try this job, have a bit of patience. Definitely have done a bit of car work before. Have a bit of confidence. It is doable. it will save you probably a couple of £100 from a dealership or a mechanic, because any mechanic's going to charge at least £100 for doing this work, and then whatever the bulbs are on top of that. Yeah. Disappointed in Honda. Really disappointed in Honda. Love the cars, always have. Have had loads of them. Nightmare of a job. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment if this video has been helpful whatsoever.